Hello, welcome to another toneless landscape oil painting demonstration. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy, and the painting I'm bringing you today is called Ocean Beach. It's a 6x8. I painted this a couple days ago. You're going to notice it's a bit lighter and brighter, and the color is fresh and things like that. Not as light and bright and fresh as I was actually thinking I was doing it, but still compared to my usual tonalist thing, this isn't tonalism. There are some things though about the color that are tonal I just can't escape. By the way, what you notice happening there is I hold my boards up at blue tack. It's called blue tack, but you know, it's like this putty, and the thing is, like, you have to make sure they're squished real good. If you pull the board off and reapply it, it won't stay. This one was struggling, but a lot of times you can see too I have like a little piece of masonite underneath. So I decided to do my drawing slash underpainting with burr number. I'm working on top of masonite slash hardboard, which has been primed with 2 coats of transparent gesso. That's why you can't tell that. And then a little, I think I put a little bit of oil on that as well. This is why you can't tell there's a primer on it, because it's transparent. So now in these types of skies, a lot of times when I paint skies, I'll do the darkest clouds first. If there's a lot of blue sky, I like to do the blue sky first because it's underneath everything else. Clouds are over the top of that, and then of course the landscape is over the top of the sky. And I mean, you can go in and add things and change things, but your basic painting approach, that's really a good idea to work backwards to forwards. When I do mix my blues, there's a bit of a, no, we're not even at 6 minutes yet, but I'm feeling generous to give you a blue tip. Blue and white, you're thinking from the tube, and that's like, you can always tell the painting of an amateur right off the bat with their blue and their white. You need to adulterate it with something. So if you're not working with black on your palette, say you're some kind of impressionist or you've been taught by some kind of impressionist, you can add a little bit of orange to the blue to give it some complexity. That'd be complementary. Oh, I don't know if impressionists even have a color like raw umber on their palette, but those are my 2 main go-tos for adulterating blues for the sky. So and I might do both. I think I did both here. So you've got to add some complexity to that color, otherwise it just looks fake and it looks like it came out of a tube, and it looks amateurish. And you can see my blue has got some sophistication to it, and that's how I arrived at it. There's another thing you got to watch out for. Like, there's obviously fairly strong lighting on the beach. The reference I used for the sky was different reference, and it's lit a little bit different, but it's kind of vague. You can get away with a fair amount in skies because sometimes clouds are in front of other clouds and this and that and the other thing. In this case it was fine. I didn't need to recomposite. I didn't really notice until I started painting, but I could have flipped the clouds around and that might have been a better way to go. As it stands, it looks real nice. And yeah, so I in this painting I did the instead of like grays, I wanted more purples. So even those purples, though, if you look at the purple I would get with dioxine purple, however it's pronounced, I don't really care. And white, it just gives you this, wow, boom, it looks like a Crayola crayon or something. You got to adulterate that with usually black. Usually I throw in some alizarin crimson too. You get those purples kind of in a little more red space. But whatever you need to do. Another great color to add to purples is raw umber. Anyway, you've got to kind of adulterate these things to have them looking good. I didn't. Now, one of my brief for this painting was not to be precious about anything. Just get the color down best as I could and move on. And you can see I moved on from the sky. I felt like doing a heck of a lot more there, but I thought, no, I just want an honest, nah. That's what I said to myself, nah. I just want an honest brushy approach. You know, I don't want to overthink this or overwork it, because the whole reason I'm doing this is going to be a gift for my neighbors here. I'm not super, awesome friends with them, but the guy's great. He's always mowing my front strip of grass and the strip across the way. And I knew like one of my normal paintings wouldn't be right in their house, so I went ahead and did this. And it's got me thinking that, um, I may do a few more like this, because brighter, lighter, bigger. That's what the whole new studio is going to be about. It's about bigger. It's designed for doing bigger paintings, and you're going to see that happen. And for too long, I'm going to tell you. Now my studio practice is, my main practice is still at the quarry, because that's where I can actually interface with the public. But I've been working on this home studio, and actually some of you, you know who you are very generous and have helped me set this up, and it's really helped, I have to say. There's a few things I wanted to do. For example, have my monitor on a monitor stand that I really was looking at maybe not being able to afford to do that, and I was able to do it because of donations from generous supporters of the channel. And I love you dearly. Thank you so much for that. And thanks for supporting the channel. You know, it's all about sharing and caring. So yeah, then a little tip here with these waves I was passing on, and then the live video, you get the whole blow-by-blow breakdown. The live video is about an hour and 40 minutes, and I'm talking about everything I'm doing as I'm doing it. So if you're interested in education, edumacation, or what have you, you probably would get more from the live video. I try and impart a good amount of tips in these 15-minute videos, but basically it's just sharing the sped up painting and kind of burbling over the top. That's the main mission. And then in recent months and years, I've been trying to be helpful with the tips too, since but when I started this, I wasn't even thinking, education, I just like sharing my process. That's it. And it seemed odd to have a video that was completely quiet, and even though I make a lot of music, that would have got worn out pretty quick with just having my music going. So, and classical, blah blah blah. So this is the best solution, and hopefully you're getting something from the burbling. So now a lot of times when I do my little drawing slash underpainting, I do it with black. In this case I decided not to, because I wanted to keep things lighter in general. So I did the underdrawing with the burn number, and now coming in with the black, because kind of like the sky, the darkest bits you always want underneath everything else. If you try and plop those shadow shapes on top of something that's been painted light, you're never going to get them dark. Now in my case, I'm happy with just plain black. I could have got a chromatic black going on here, but just because I'm doing something light and bright doesn't mean I've abandoned every principle of painting that I think is crucial to making good pictures. And one of those is, I really don't like chromatic blacks. I mean, I've seen artists make it work, and I'm not looking at their work in reality. I'm looking at it on screen. It looks fine. But for me, I want my blacks to be just plain old black. Yeah, that's what I like. Other than that, though, I mean, this approach to this painting is not exactly tonal. Yeah, I guess it's impressionist. I don't know. You can't really call anything impressionist that uses black. They didn't like black. They were anti-black and black. By the way, I'm going to have some figure stuff coming up on the channel, I've decided, and I'm working on a series right now. It was inspired by this guy on YouTube. I'll give you his name because I got this video open in the background. His name is Old Master Paintings, and he does these studies after Caravaggio. And I'm not doing full-out Caravaggio in these, but it is going to be more that sort of approach where you build things up from an umber base. It's going to be kind of a quicker, more modern approach. Also, I'm not headed for like pink flesh tones. I'm headed for sepias. So it's going to be a developed underpainting. Let's talk about this painting. Back to the painting we're doing. Nice fresh greens, and one of the things is I didn't want my greens, especially those first greens in the back. Those are made with phthalo and some phthalo and some yellow ochre and a bit of raw umber and a bit of black. Yeah, and now the thing that's lightening the phthalo would be the yellow ochre. Yeah, if I went with white, it would be kind of too milky looking. May have done a little bit of that in some of the accents. Then in the lighter color, there's a lot of times I do that where I want to lighten a green or something. I will go to the yellow ochre because it doesn't make like a huge statement about its yellowness, but it can bring a lot of lightness and opacity to the situation. Whereas, like, I could do something similar with cadmium yellow, but cadmium yellow is going to bring a lot of yellow into play and make everything really bright. And you get greens that are veering into fakey, and I don't like fakey greens. I don't mind greens that are bright. Now, a lot of times too, what I like to do is if I have bring in a lot of reds. I didn't do that so much here because I wanted a fresh kind of cool sort of approach in the greens. I did bring a few reds in here and there, but they say I have a real reddish green. Sometimes I like to just bring in some permanent green light. I'll use a permanent green light to make any mixture on my palette into a green. It's incredible for that. If you don't have any, highly recommend it. I used a little permanent green light, of course, in the top bit there. I'm pretty happy with the way all that turned out. I was moving along, so you basically had the triune color thing going. You have the blue purples of the sky and water, and the water I'm veering into some phthalos, aquas and things towards the bottom. I used quite a lot of phthalo blue in this. In fact, I used phthalo blue in the mixture of some of the greens as well. And then you've got the sand color, which is, basically starting with a base of like a raw umber and white. I like raw umber and white to make a basic tan. Oh no, what I'm doing now is like some purpley, the dark bits of sand, which have a little bit of purple in them, a lot of raw umber, and a bit of that white, of course, and I think a little alizarin crimson. Again, I like my colors to have a bit of complexity to them, and one of the things I remember saying as I was doing this the live video, which, by the way, you can access the live videos, but just join in the members area. It's $6, bucks, $6 a month, and there's like maybe 100 live videos there. And if you're patient, and let's say you want to learn more about painting, you're going to go work with some teacher in your town or whatever. I mean, the best way to learn would just be to be able to sit in a studio and watch them do a painting, if you ask me. The only difference is, you can't ask the video questions, but you can always ask questions in the comments or send me an email. That's all good. I especially, I help anyone out. I'm very here to be helpful, but if you're a member and you're supporting me, then in my books, you're a wonderful person and you deserve even more help and appreciation because you're helping me with my my journey as a painter, and that means so much. It really does. Anyway, I was talking about the how you need to get the dark shapes first. So the dark sand, you notice I put underneath the light sand, and most of that sand is just mixtures of umbers and a little of, it's a good color is like raw sienna, because raw sienna doesn't like assert its color nature too greatly, but it's really good at bringing a little warmth or a little slight amount of redness to things. Yeah, it's very handy. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this painting. I expect that this is going to be fairly popular because it's nice, and for me it's nice and bright. It could have gone even brighter in hindsight, but hey, I think my neighbor will really love it, and I'm not planning on doing anything else to it, so it's just meant to be a nice quick little, except I may do this scene a bit larger, we'll see. Anyway, thank you so much for joining me today. I really appreciate you spending the time to watch me work, and if you have any comments or Leave them down in the comments area. I really love it when people give me some feedback, even if it's like, hey, Mike, nice video. See you later, you know. Anyway, till I come back with another video, I want you to do me a favor, do me a solid. Take good care of yourself, all your loved ones. Be patient with people that have differing beliefs and opinions to yours. And stay out of trouble.